Hello everyone, I'm Yuri, and this is part 4 of writing social network in Go. It has been a while since the last series came out, but I was busy, so maybe I'll try to release them more often. But anyway, let's start. And since the last episode came out, a new Go version has been released, Go 1.4, so we're going to use it. So Go version is 1.4.2, and I have already started the builder and made some tests. So let's continue from where we left off. I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember where we left off, but we will work on the protocol. So the problem with the protocol is that, for example, we have to do JSON and Marshall for different types, and we have to do it twice. So first we unmarshal JSON from the message, and then we unmarshal the encoded message, which is pretty strange. So we need to improve the protocol and then move on. So what are we going to do? First, we need to change the architecture a little bit so that we read using buffer rate reader, and then we can decode, and we can decode JSON, and we can use our custom protocol. So let's start. First, we need to create a buffer rate reader somewhere. So I'll call the variable just rd, stands for reader. So we create new reader from our connection, and then we will create JSON decoder. So JSON new decoder, and what this gives to us is that when we receive a message, we can just specify decoder decode and it should decode into the request, as you can see here. So there is an error. Oh, okay. So never mind. It is the alpha version of PHP Storm, and it can have some problems. So yes, let's try our application and see if it works. So let's see, for example, if timeline works. And everyone should see. So everything seems to work, and we can even restart our application and see if everything is still okay. and we see that everything works fine. So this was the first step, that we introduced the buffered reader. So the next step would be that we should read the message in a different format. So I suggest that we use something different. So the send request is now no, not now, but is implemented as WebSocket send of a message that has sequence ID that we don't use as far as I know. No, we do use sequence ID. So it sends sequence ID and the message type. So what we need to do is, for example, so we need to get rid of double JSON encode because it is silly and it is not very efficient. So I suggest to do something like this. So we first send a string that has request type and sequence ID, and then okay, sorry, I should disable the oh shit. So what is this? Oh no. Inspections, cleanup code, terminate statement. So we need to disable inspection about code style issues on terminator statement. So JavaScript allows us not to put semicolons, so we don't put them. Okay, so we will send the request type first, then sequence ID, then the line separator, and then the JSON. So it would be like this. So let's see it. We use debugging tools in Chrome, as far as I remember. So this is what we send. This is the first line. Something is a bit strange here. Okay, so this is how it looks. The first line is the type and sequence ID, and the second is the JSON response. And of course it doesn't work because the server doesn't understand this type of request and just exits. We could even try to log this. So let's so we should print it and see. Yeah, couldn't decode request from client, so invalid character R, which is this one, instead of something that makes sense. Okay, so we should then get the first line from our buffered reader, we could read string and use actually we don't even need to read the string up to the end of line, so we can read up to this first space, and it would be a request type. So if error is not nil, then we do something like we should copy this sadly, but I think we'll do something about this, something better, to be honest. So this is not how it should work. We send nil to receive channel, so that we can just return from this function, because this is the infinite loop. So we could use something like defer here. So this is what, yes, this is what we do. So we don't need to copy this. Or could not read request type. Then we read the sequence ID string, and it should end with the end of line. Then we should decode this to get sequence ID. Yeah. Sequence ID is not strings, is not integer. And then decode the message, but actually this is not where we do this. Request type. So this is what we do instead. We still have the request type checks, but we decode it differently. So we don't have the request structure anymore. We don't need the base request. So actually this is a code that is absolutely the same can decode request. So this means that if this code is absolutely the same, we could probably turn it into a function, maybe. um, and actually user request, yeah, no. User request has different types, so we can do this. So I think that's the first iteration is okay. But maybe we could do something better sometime soon. So this is cannot decode request. We just replace it. And if it has invalid request type, we would report about that as well. And let's see if it works or not. I don't think it works, sadly. So sequence ID is not int. Oh yeah, the problem is that the last symbol is included in the last symbol is included in the read string, so we should do something like that request type equals request type without the last symbol. And the same is for sequence ID string, but here we can just use this slice. So this should work better. Yeah, it works. So we now use the different protocol, and it is a little bit it's a little bit more straightforward, and so we could improve it later, of course. And we just send the messages that we just reply to the user, to the receive channel. So let's see if the receive channel is yes. Oh no. So we do not block on right. We should not block on writing to receive channel. So let's see that it is actually true. So we should see that control events are processed the right way. I think that they do, but just to be sure. So events dispatcher. Yes, it just if length of the queue is greater than or equal to capacity, it just skips it. So we do not block here. Yes, everything is okay. So what I was checking is that when someone writes to receive channel, that's it is actually that it works, and that you will not block forever and leave running Go routines. That is not good. So this is the first thing that we did, is that we redesigned our protocol a little bit. That's it is a little bit cleaner, and we can definitely improve uh, further on it. But this is the first step. That it was strange to require the double encoding of JSON. So we should do it once, and this is what we did. Okay, second thing that we should probably do is I don't know actually what we should do next. I think that I didn't show how sessions are working, and they are working not as good as they could, because the session info is just a map from string to string, so you can put any values there, but this is not what we want, because as you will see, we need to, as you can see, we need to um, have we need to store structured information, and this is what we have to do here. So we write some maps, and we format it, these strange ways. So we need to work on this as well. So the problem here is that control event, so for example, event new message, handle new message. So the problem here is that we have to specify these fields as strings, because events has, so we have to do strange things, like pass strings, even though we definitely should not do this. We should keep structured information about our events. So let's see how our events are used, and let's redo this properly. So the problem is that info is a map of string to string, and this is the first thing that we would redo. So the information is just some type that depends on the event type that people use. So yes, information would be just an empty interface, and based on the event type, you always know which information, which type, which structure the information holds. So let's see where it is used. Let's try to use find usages. So handle user connected is the first thing that we found that doesn't use info field at all. So we should probably should find usages on info field instead. So yes, this is what I was talking about. So handle user connected reads from info ID. And listener map as well. Listener map Yeah, that's that's not good as well. User info should keep ID as not as string but as integer. But first we should do this. Yeah, see, the problem is that when we use the unstructured fields, it can become very tricky to understand and find usages where is what. So handle user connected passes the user ID and is called from event dispatcher. Yes, on the event of user connected. So someone fills in the info, and this info is got from session information, and this is the main problem. Get session info returns the results as map string string. So this is the first thing that we should do, is improve this a little bit. So type is session info, of course, and we store what information do we store in session? It is actually not too much. When we create session, we specify two parameters. It's ID, it's user ID, and username. So this is what we are going to store instead of just map of string string. And ID, which is integer, and name, which is string. And all the handlers would then return session info. This would be incompatible with what is stored in session already, so we should deal with it somehow. Or maybe it will work, I don't know, to be honest. So when we create session, we accept session info, then we JSON marshal this and set it into memcache. So if we don't succeed with get session info, then get auth user info would return null. So if we couldn't decode, then we would show the authorization page, and then the template would be rendered. Which is just login. So it would be like login handler, yeah. login handler, and this is where we create session. We create new session. So here we should do not this, but session info, and we specify ID and name here. And we set cookie, and then send to the index page. So everything should be okay now. Okay, so this was the first thing, but I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't build. So let's see what are the issues. Yeah, probably first thing is that ID, user ID is unsigned integer instead of signed integer. So let's change that. And in 268 we return map of string, and this is obviously different now. So what's next? To 81 is serve auth page. So it accepts map of string. So this is obviously different from so 290 is next. Yes, event info ID. So event info is opaque interface, and when user is connected, then we know that the event info would be of type session info. If it's not true, then we should exit and say that the type assertion failed. And this is pretty bad. Very bad error, because Go doesn't have anything better than this kind of type checking. So if it doesn't confirm that this is session info, then we're in trouble. Okay, so we have event info instead. Then we can use the fields, and so user ID, we don't need to pass it. We already have this. Listener map should not accept the it shouldn't accept map of string because it's strange. So we should say that it is session info. And so now we can understand what what listener map is. It contains the channels where to write events for users and the user information from their session. And it can be updated as well. So the user info is really no different from session info, but it is not it's not always no, it's not always true. Okay, so event info is not used, but we will use it, of course, because we need user ID. So user with this ID has connected, and we should send event about it to all uh, users. The other thing that is not very good is that we use strings instead of constants, and this issue is actually solvable. We could write a Go program that would analyze these constants and generate string constants for them. I'm not sure that I will show this in this video, but we'll do it in some near future. So then this is the mechanical work that we should do, is that event info name. So we send an event about this user that it has connected for everyone that wants to listen and that can listen. Okay, so let's see what errors we have now. 287. Yeah, so you see in user info ID is string for some reason. Yes, and the reason for that is that sadly JavaScript doesn't really support 64-bit integers too well, so we should use strings instead. That's not too convenient, but that's what we should do. So here we should use string, because it is the event for that is sent for user, and this means that it needs to be in the format that JavaScript can understand and not break. Okay, so what's next? It's 305. Yes, it's event info. It needs type assertion, but we already have this. Okay, so next one, 321. Event user connected. Yeah, it's the same. So we should convert it to string. And now 327. So first one is that listener map gives us session info. This is the code that we no longer need. So user ID was event info in user disconnected, and I think that's it is absolutely the same. And when user disconnects, then we send the same info, which is, of course, which is not map of string, which is session info. And we don't need to decode user ID here. Yes, it is. Info is not the best name for this variable, so we should rename it to user info. Okay, so let's see what the compiler says to us. 328 is, yes, user ID is undefined because it's control event. We should assert that info is of a correct type. So user ID is defined now. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, okay, we have more. Then name. So it was used everywhere, which is why it is so. It takes so much time to find all the usages and refactor everything to make it support the not quick and dirty way to send events and to communicate, but to use the proper typed messages that will help us to grow and to introduce new features and not to break things. So okay, 355, yeah, this is something that we saw previously, but this time the event is not new message. The event is obviously different. So it is pretty interesting that the event info that we need is actually just it just has all the fields that we need. So the event that was sent, event info, control event, should just contain the yes, the source event should just contain the events that we need to send, and we just replace user ID from and user ID to, and that's all. So source event is just event new message, because that's really what it is. And if not okay, then we not panic. We should keep working, but log this. It's not event new message in handle new message. This is of course not the best way to do it, probably because we shouldn't write where it happened. It should be provided by the logger that we use, but it is for another time probably. But it is much better uh, to include where the event happened. That's is not good, because it would help you to debug your program. So event type is event new message. Timestamp is string. So yeah, okay. So it is pretty obvious what we should do. Then user from is obviously user from source event. And we don't have user to. Okay, it's maybe not event message. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe we need another field here. But it's probably. But we should probably still use the same structure. So we say that it consists of event new message and then user from. No, not user from, user to, which is string as well. No, it shouldn't be string. What am I doing? Okay, so maybe we should. It wasn't the best idea, so we should do other type. It's not event new message, it's internal event new message, and we could just like copy everything that we needed to specify. So let's find where we specify this. So user to. Yeah. So these are the fields that we need. Specify. So internal events new message. This is what we specify. So user from is user ID that sends the message. User to is of course user ID that we need to send who we so it's the receiver, and that's it probably. So it doesn't have user to, but we will add this. So this should be int 64. We don't need ID and message type, and timestamp and text are strings. So is it correct? Yes, okay. So it's not event new message, it's internal event new message. So it is user from, but the user from is string, so we need to convert it to string. And it's not event info user from, it's user 2. So let's see what's left. 407. Handle new timeline event. So with the timeline events, I think that's the same. Yes. So we need to introduce a new type. So like events new timeline event. Oh, event new timeline event. It's strange, probably. Event new status. Event new timeline status. Yes, and so we should introduce the internal type that we would use if it is needed. I don't know. Let's see. Let's suppose that it is that new timeline status can be used first. So username is what is used. So we'll specify here internal timeline status. It's everything from here. So it's user ID, username. Yeah, there are no such fields, so we should probably change the type so that it has all acquired fields instead. So yeah, it doesn't have any. Good. So user ID is this, that. Okay, so it should update now. I hope. Yes, it did. So now when user receives new timeline event, it's handle new timeline event, and the event info would be the timeline status. And this is what we should do here as well. So timestamp would be timestamp. User ID would be user ID, and it should be string. Text would be event info text, and it would be username. Oh. Okay, so it should work now. No, it should not. So if error is not no, okay, sorry, if not okay, yeah. Not okay. So listener map. It's different, so we have session info here. And last one, 746. User info name. And it is easily fixed. So, and now everything should work. Maybe. Let's log in. Logged in as, yeah, nothing works. Yeah, that's good. I like when this happens. So let's see what's the problem. This is okay. Load 25 seconds. And nothing works. JSON can't unmarshal string integer value of type uint64. This is probably what other browsers are going to do. Safari as well. Yeah, we logged in as nothing, and yeah, the errors have gone away, but something is not working, probably. And the first issue is that probably let's look at the code. So it's logged in as, and that's all. So probably, yeah, that's good. We just don't get anything past this integer. So let's see here. It is authorized as .name. And where do we show this? Where do we show this page? Serve auth page, and so we just execute and supply info here. And probably we should see how to use templates. It's HTML template. So what can be executed? So which values are accepted? Maybe we should print errors. Could not render template. Yes. So we should print errors to be able to debug. So name is not field or struct type main session info. Yes, the problem is that we use lowercase. We use lowercase properties, and of course it is not acceptable. So the template package cannot see the name and ID fields, and so it cannot do anything with this. Oh, panic. Invalid memory address on your pointer dereference. Yeah, that's good. Our application is still running, but did not go well. Okay, let's see. So do we enter here or not? So we're serving auth page, and then we have panic. Oh, if error is not nil, then we print. Yeah, that's stupid, to be honest. Very stupid error. Yeah, that's much better. So I think was okay, but we didn't print any errors, so we spent a lot of time to debug this. So this is why you should spend a lot of time and log all the errors, even if it seems a waste. It will save you a lot of time when you have some issues that were hard to debug. You can spend much more time than you would spend just adding logging, and especially if something doesn't work on production, then it is especially valuable to be able to find the problem as fast as possible while the production doesn't work, because otherwise your company would probably lose a lot of money, and you shouldn't just ignore errors and see weird issues. Okay, so refactoring is good. Refactoring, refactoring, refactoring. Yeah, you see, it works. It works great. You don't want to see this bottom layer. Yeah, no. I don't know how workspace, devices, shortcuts. Okay, never mind. So let's test that messages also work. We could send a message to Safari. Hello, Safari. And then Safari would receive message from us, and we'll answer hello Chrome, and yeah, everything seems fine. So they even probably have messages. Yes, that's cool. everything works. And so we now don't have maps as far as I know, or at least maps from string to string we don't have. So let's see, is it true? Map and string. Yeah, we have maps in our application, but we don't have maps of strings, and so we have everything typed. And if we see the diff, it would be pretty big. We should also format our we should also format all these files. So yeah, because I have changed to PHP Storm, but it doesn't format changes on the fly. But it's the only issue. So it works. It can find usages. It goes to definition and other things as well. So it thinks that SQLDB is not used. Maybe it is right, actually. Yeah. We don't use global variable DB anymore. And it's good that we don't. So the last test, and the next thing that we should do is probably to write tests so that we can test our protocol and see that it really works. And maybe refactor our application even more to allow us to write unit tests. And then we can expand our application and do more interesting things in future. So thank you, and thank you for watching. Have a good day, and bye bye. And there will be more episodes in some near future, I hope. So stay tuned. Thank you.